Hey, good morning everyone. Going to do a quick video here on how to properly pick tomatoes, specifically like the cherry tomato varieties, sweet 100s, and like Chadwick cherries and things of that sort. How do we properly pick them in the later months? It's middle of September now, and we got to start getting stuff off of the vine because of frost that may be coming, or we got an abundant amount of rain or water that's coming in the next day or two. But how do we safely pull these tomatoes off the vine? Now, what you're going to see in the later months is, if you haven't kept up with everything, you're going to see, obviously, this. All right, focus. You'll see this type of splitting going on the vine, and we want to avoid that at all costs. So we typically will just, I'll grab some tomatoes that are not 100% ripe, and I'll just pluck them off. And you think everything's cool, and you put them in a bucket, but you know, you get like a couple 40, 50 in a bucket, and it starts to be an issue because of weight, and the other tomatoes will start stacking on top of them. You notice these little micro fractures that will get in here, and if you, let me see if I can see one here. If you start squeezing them, you see it split, right? So even though you've picked them and they are fine and you threw them in the bucket, you get home and you start going through them and you got this big split here in the side, and you got to toss them. Either that or eat them right away. And you'll end up with like 20% of them that'll be that way. So how do you properly pull off large amounts of cherry tomatoes without letting them split, right? Like, how do we get that stop from happening? Well, if you notice, I'm going to call it an elbow or a knuckle, right? There's this little break point right here that you'll notice if sometimes when you pull off a tomato, it'll take that whole part with it, right? So when you think a twist off, no. What you want to do is kind of lightly grip at that area, pinch, and just pull them off. If you have a pair of clippers, that works too, but you know, clippers really slow you down. They're going to take a lot of time to get in there and clip them off, and then you got to catch them in another hand kind of thing. So it's kind of a difficult thing to do. But if you just perfectly exercise the squeeze at the knuckle point and pull, if they're ready to come off, or even if they're not 100% ready to come off, they will come off though. Right there, boom, pull. Try not to pull too hard, or you might shake some of the other ones off, but that right there will be good, and it'll take the weight from the other tomatoes in the bucket, and it won't squeeze them and make them split. So that's a really quick tip. If you've had that problem, or I'm sure it's a pretty easy one to figure out and solve, but yeah, because this is what you end up with. That right there, look at that. And they don't fix well, so to the birds with it. All right, that's your quick tip. Later.